Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me? Well, today I finally get to celebrate my wedding anniversary some 12 days later than originally planned. Regular viewers will know that on my actual anniversary, I was struck down in my prime by an illness that would have killed lesser men. Now, having finally shaken off the lasting effects, I finally get to take Mrs. Demolition News for a well-deserved and somewhat belated lunch date. And speaking of dates, dates from the past and diary dates for the future feature heavily in today's show. So without further ado, let me post the question of the day, roll the intro, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It's Tuesday, the 24th of May, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, we celebrate the 50th anniversary of a divisive British landmark. Will it start attempting to fire up a long-abandoned John Deere dozer? The date is set for the long overdue return of Plantworx. MB Crusher demonstrates how it puts valuable materials back into the supply chain. Plus, a Californian power station falls in a controlled blast. In addition to all that, and somewhat unexpectedly, there is every possibility that we'll be throwing over to Exeter for an outside broadcast from Peter Haddock and quite possibly from Nick Drew as well. We'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to the man who invented the thermometer and gave his name to the unit of measure that it uses, Daniel Fahrenheit, and also many happy returns to former British monarch Queen Victoria. Happy birthday also to the godfather of ska music, Prince Buster, and to fellow singer-songwriter Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan famously wrote a song called A Change Is Going to Come. Yes, Bob, but when? To singer Patti LaBelle, actress and former wife of the King Priscilla Presley, and to actors Jim Broadbent and Alfred Molina, and also to runner Liz McColgan, actor John C. Reilly, and to the footballing enigma that is Eric Cantona. Many happy returns to them, one and all. And we'll be sticking with the subject of birthdays right after this. We all know that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. That fact was apparently lost on the designers of a British landmark that opened on this very day 50 years ago. Some might call it iconic. Some would argue that it is unnecessarily complex. Most would admit that they've probably been stuck on it at some point. But there is no denying that it's probably the best-known motorway junction in the whole of the British Isles. It was built in just 4 years at a cost of £8 million. It comprised 559 concrete columns and contained more than 175,000 cubic yards of concrete. Its real name is the Gravelly Hill Interchange, but we all know it as Spaghetti Junction.
Now, Rebecca, why on earth would we celebrate the 50th anniversary of any road, let alone this one?
Well, I think the question really, Simon, is why not? Why not celebrate Spaghetti Junction? Of course, it's not just any road, is it? It was iconic at its time of building, and it's used by 220,000 vehicles every single day, which makes it the busiest road junction in Europe. Now, I will give you that it's not often free-flowing, but it is very, very busy, and I'm sure you yourself have been over it. Now, we know it as Spaghetti Junction, but it's actually the Gravelly Hill Interchange, and you won't ever find it on a map referred to as Spaghetti Junction. But interestingly, since its construction, loads of other big interchanges have been named Spaghetti Junction as a result of it. So it's really popular. It's known around the world, and it is pretty impressive when you look at the size of it. It's held up by about 550 columns. It had to be elevated. There were 13 kilometres of motorway that had to be elevated to accommodate the rivers and the canals that run underneath it. So, you know, it's an impressive piece of engineering. It's known as Spaghetti Junction because it was actually named by a journalist because he said it looked like a messy plate of spaghetti and an attempt at a Staffordshire knot. That was back in 1965.
Well, you have to say he had a point.
Yeah.
And what's being done to mark this anniversary?
OK, well, using the spaghetti, we are going to be cooking up something pretty impressive. Well, it's not going to be us, it's Glyn Purnell, the Michelin-starred chef. So he has made a recipe to celebrate Spaghetti Junction, but he's not using your normal spaghetti because, of course, that's not come from Birmingham. So he's made his own spaghetti using potato and celeriac because he says it mimics the salt of the earth that we Brummies are. He also is trying to tart it up a little bit with some truffle oil and some cream. That is to show how far Birmingham has come. Now, he told us he's pretty proud to have been put in line with this project too.
So when people either see it on the TV or whether they're on the A38, Spaghetti Junction, it's iconic. It's an iconic landmark for Birmingham. It's very practical, and when you think about Birmingham, you do think about the bull ring, the rotunda, and you also feel the same with Spaghetti Junction. So it's special. It's a special junction.
Now, this is, of course, the 50th anniversary of the start of construction. So it took 4 years to build, so probably 4 more years of celebrations to come. And I think there's something quite exciting going on with Legoland, but you'll have to wait to find out about that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at you smiling and all happy, and I'm just thinking, next time you're sitting on Spaghetti Junction in your car in traffic, just remember how happy you were at this moment. I
know, I travel up and down that road almost every single day. I've spent a good few hours on Spaghetti Junction, let me tell you.
Well, you obviously enjoy it. Rebecca, thank you very much. And Amelia, great to see you as well. Thank you very much, both of you. That's Nationwide this evening.
That BBC show aired originally to mark the 50th anniversary of the Spaghetti Junction's construction, but the project actually opened to the unsuspecting public half a century ago today. Now, just as a small aside, as I said, Spaghetti Junction was built in just 4 years at a cost of just £8 million. It was delivered without complex systems of procurement, without competence card training, without laser guidance and GPS, and without the high-tech equipment that we all now take for granted. Coincidentally, today marks the official opening of the new Elizabeth line in London. Originally known as Crossrail, that project was a staggering 35 years in planning. Its construction began in 2008. That's 3 London mayors and 4 prime ministers ago. It's been delivered 3 years late and more than £4 billion over budget. So that's progress, is it? Now, in a change to our scheduled programming, I can see lurking in the green room not one but 2 very special guests. One of whom is a regular, that is Peter Haddock, and the other is an irregular, and that is Nick Drew. I know they're in Exeter. I have no idea what they're up to today, so let's go and see what they are doing. Morning, chaps.
Hello, Mark. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good, good. We're trying something different today with the microphones because it's windy. So basically, Mark, I'm joined by the infamous Nick Drew today, and we're on site here with Leica Geosystems and 1 Point Survey, who's their dealer in the Exeter area, to have a surveying 3D dig day. And Mark, guess what? I'm going to get him onto a GPS machine control machine for the first time, using models, digging, because as we know, Nick, you don't like doing that sort of stuff, do you?
No, I'm a bit of a Luddite with technology, so it's going to be an interesting day.
And this is the machine behind us that we're going to get him digging on, Mark. It's got the MC1 system from Leica. The guys have been surveying an area behind this machine that Nick is going to be allowed to dig in later on. So that's going to be super exciting. And there are other people here that are actually coming for the first time to get trained and also to have an awareness day of machine control and surveying, the whole 3D thing that you talked about earlier there with the Crossrail. Nick, you haven't wanted to do this for very long at all, have you? In fact, every time I say to you, come on, let's do it, you make some excuse. Why is that?
Yeah, it's just I'm old school, I guess, and I never sort of embraced it when it first came out, and so it's going to be a bit of a challenge.
And Nick's one of those people that's not afraid to take up a challenge, but Mark, he really does not want to do this. So if you had to carry me over to Exeter all the way from Stafford to make sure he's okay. So today is just about, really, there's over 100 and probably 150 people here today, all getting a full connected worksite training thing. We've got ground penetrating radars, we've got the Leica Geosystems rovers and total stations, the machine control, all the different experts here just spending their time with people in Exeter and the surrounding area doing a lot of the training. But Nick, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible. The turnout inside there is amazing. It's like a who's who, contractors in the southwest. I was really surprised to see how many turned up. So really good.
And that also gives Nick a large boost, Mark, to say that is the right thing for him to become machine control ready Drew. So it's over to you, Mark. But we're going to have a great day here today, and looking forward to seeing Nick in action, digging the hole 100% accurately. How's that, Nick?
Let's go for it.
Cool. Cheers, Mark.
Before you head off, guys, I've had a message. Well, I've had a lot of messages. Lots of people saying good morning to you, and one of them says, "Happy birthday, Peter. Hello, Nick."
Correct. It is my birthday today, Mark.
In that case, there is a thing that I need to do. I'm not going to sing happy birthday because that would immediately send people away. But you get some birthday confetti. Many happy returns to you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Mark. Doing what I love best, not taking the day off to spend just idling my time away, merely going from Exeter to near Rotherham later on today on my birthday, because it's a non-stop content journey at the moment for me. I'll be home for the first full day back in the office since Tuesday last week when I get back into my office on Thursday. Lots to do, Mark. Lots of sunshine, hopefully. But great to get out there. Great to be back with Nick.
Hope the wife and children recognise you when you get home. But have a great day, guys.
Cheers, Mark.
All the best. Right. Before we were not particularly rudely interrupted, I think we were around about here.
Axoft and Svantec are your high-end partners for noise, vibration, dust and air quality systems, sensors and software. To find out more, visit axoft.co.uk or call 01234 639 550.
I am now of an age where I can no longer remember what I did last week. Truth be told, I'd be hard-pressed to tell you what I had for dinner last night. The past, increasingly, is a mystery to me. But I can tell you this. I know precisely where I'm going to be 385 days from now. That's right. Like the prodigal son, Plantworx returns next year from the 13th to the 15th of June 2023 at its adopted home of the East of England Showground. Although it's a long way off, the organisers are hoping to attract around 450 exhibitors to make Plantworx the must-see plant and equipment show for 2023. Now, I realise that the construction and demolition sector could tumble into the abyss between now and then, or we could all fall victim to monkeypox or donkey measles before 2023 rolls around. But assuming that the world hasn't been consumed by plague and pestilence, we will be in Peterborough 385 days from now. I hope to see you there. Okay, so we've now taken a look into the near future. It's now time to take a look into the not so near past. Imagine you finish clearing a wooded area ahead of the construction of your brand new house. And imagine when that work was complete, you parked up the dozer you'd been using and you just left it there. And then imagine returning to that dozer some 18 years later and hoping to get it started. No chance, right? Well, maybe, maybe not.
It's a little sticky. The story with this one was, my grandpa bought it, probably in the 60s, late 50s maybe. He had a trenching business. This was the first dozer he bought. The last time we used it was when we built my parents' house, the house I grew up in. So I think, we can't remember, but we think I parked it here probably 18 years ago or something. So I'm 29. So I was 11, parked it here. It has not ran since. Took both the spark plugs out. They look all right. Let's check and see.
Oh, is the motor turning?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, you gotta look, see if the...
Yeah, the motor's turning now. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's positive. Flip it around.
I didn't see that one coming.
Isn't that the way you tell? Be afraid of
80,000 volts.
Here, I'll hit the starter.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could do that with a modern dozer with all its fancy electronics. I'm guessing probably not. Now, that is actually a clip of a much longer video. If you'd like to see the full 20-minute film, I've just posted the link in the chat. If you were here yesterday, you may recall that we talked about all things excavator-mounted crusher buckets. Well, by some strange coincidence, while I was busy waffling, those fine folks at MB Crusher were actually doing some work, producing a new film on their crusher bucket and its capabilities in the recycling of demolition and construction materials. Take a look at this. Now, just to remind you, MB Crusher will be exhibiting as a standalone company this time around at the Hillhead exhibition that is now just 28 days away. You will find MB Crusher on stand Y1. I'm going to be paying them a visit. I hope to see you there.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Our final clip of the day is what is known in the trade as a quickie. It features the explosive demolition of part of the Etiwanda generating station in California. And to be honest, the film pretty much speaks for itself. Another power station on its way to the great fossil fuel graveyard in the sky.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
That pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show, but the chat has been busier than ever, so I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends and your colleagues. Have a great day. Thanks for watching and thanks for your contributions. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I'll see you on the other side of this.